One day, small round capsules started falling from the sky. People couldn't know it and just lived their normal lives. Some of the capsules fell into the stadium. Alien creatures immediately crawled out of them and ran to look for their prey. Upon seeing a human, the alien climbs onto the shoulder and crawls into the ear, enslaving the human brain. After a couple minutes, the alien wakes up and gets used to its new body. It slowly walks out into the crowd and begins its hunt. A wild panic ensues, while the parasite mugs everyone around him. At this time, Lee Gongchen is shopping for groceries. He likes to listen to music with his headphones on, so he almost never takes his headphones off. A fight breaks out between him and Suin, the salesgirl.
Hey, come on. Can't you just get the stupid thing? Jesus Christ.
Later, Suin finishes her shift and goes home. A little later, she notices the surveillance. Lee Gongchen runs over the girl and stabs her several times.
You shits believe I can kill somebody now? Ah!
The girl falls down without strength, and a capsule lands next to her. A couple seconds later, a parasite kills Win. The accident is noticed by a local resident and calls an ambulance. Police officer Kim arrives to question Suin, but the other policemen don't know how to explain what killed him. A little later, Suin wakes up and asks what happened to her. She remembers that she was hit several times, but all the wounds disappeared. Kim knows the girl and asks her to leave them alone, and after a short conversation, he leaves. Once alone, she starts to remember how something got inside her head. A few months later, a man came to a special place, but he is attacked by Kang for having fun. However, Kang couldn't win, and he was sewn up to escape.
Hey, come here, you son of a bitch! Come here, asshole! Hey!
To lay low, he decides to visit his sister. She's acting very strange and looks at the pictures to realize who is standing in front of her. Kang is surprised that his sister with a brain tumor can move around so well. The sister also has a daughter, but she is not at home. Upon entering her room, Kang finds a cell phone, and she doesn't go anywhere without it. A brochure of the new church is also hanging on the mirror. Suin went back to work. On the way home, her head is enveloped by a loud beeping noise. Afterward, a man walks onto the bus with no emotion. He keeps looking at Suin, because of which she decides to get off the bus. At this time, the man met a girl. She suggested to go to her house, and he immediately agreed. But it was a trap. The girl is looking for men so that other parasites can feed. As suddenly the room is illuminated by a bright light. A SWAT team rushes into the building and starts killing the aliens. The other parasites take advantage of their superhuman strength by throwing heavy boxes at the police. To limit the fighting potential, a cannon firing a strong net was developed. One parasite escapes outside and finds a car in which another parasite is being held. Captain Enku runs out of the corner and hits the monster several times, but it still manages to escape. She has learned to use the other parasites as trackers. After looking around the building, they find a room where the monsters kept their food. On the wall was their symbol. The streets are also painted with the same symbol. Captain Enku is sure that the aliens have started to set up their organizations. Suin starts hearing squeaks again and notices a man from the bus. After standing for a few seconds, he runs to Suin and corners the other vermin. Their conversation is observed by Kang. The parasites are surprised at how well Suin manages to pretend to be human. Another parasite calls her different and decides to test her abilities. The parasite inside Suin takes control of her body and cuts off the dagger. The man offers to join an organization and join forces. It is this pamphlet that Kang finds. He tries to leave without being seen, but is attacked by Suin. She tells him that his sister is gone. Suin won't kill him, but he must do what she asks. A little later, the girl takes her body. He says that when Suin hears noises, it means there's a monster walking around. She doesn't need to contact them. There's a monster inside her. Usually they take her brain. But Suin was wounded so badly that the parasite spent its energy healing the wounds and it couldn't take over her brain. Now she's a mutant. Her parasite's name is Height. She thinks he's lying, which causes her to go home and write a question in her notebook. Is there someone else in her body? Suddenly, time increases and the notebook has the answer. Height asks to write down all her questions and she will answer them. A special unit from Seoul has come to town. They check everyone who wants to enter the police station, while other soldiers take aim at possible aliens. They want the local authorities to know about the new global threat. Captain Enku says the parasites appeared all over the world around the same time. One check this morning will be enough to know that there are no enemies among them. She shows them the first documented fact of the monster's existence. None of them knew it. That's why a special unit is preventing leaks to the media. But they don't yet know where the maggots came from. Their main goal is to eat brains. Human consciousness is completely destroyed. The parasites are able to reshape the head through structural transformation, and now they are among the ordinary inhabitants. To defeat a parasite, you have to destroy the body. A knife or shotgun is best. The policeman asks how they can tell if the person in front of them is human or parasite. Yenku answers by pulling out a strand of hair. They will lose structure and fall apart. Her husband became a parasite, but he helped develop a gas that is harmful to parasites. They also bonded with each other, and her husband became a radar for finding other monsters.
That's why this parasite has a name. The hunting dog.
When Suin woke up, she got answers to her questions. Height would only become active when they were threatened. She realized that she can only take Suin's body for 15 minutes a day. Height asks to stay away from the enemies. They will want to destroy the mutant. She also recorded a video that Suin realized what Height looks like. Kang wants to sell his watch, and though they try to trick him, he has to settle for a lower amount. With the proceeds, he pays his debts and buys a motorcycle. Kang tries to call Kiosk, but she doesn't pick up. The seller tells him that some people tried to find Kang and showed his picture. They were the bandits he attacked a few days ago. A fight breaks out. In the heat of battle, he not only beats up the bandits, but also steals a more expensive motorcycle on which he escapes. Because of this altercation, Kang wants to leave town and sets up a meeting with his friend. Police officer Huang brings Enki all the latest documents. She will be able to determine if they are related to the monsters. Huang is also a fan of Enki and asks her to sign the book. Among the new cases was the Suin case. Kim can't forget the recent meeting and begins to suspect that Suin might be a parasite. He comes to her workplace and plucks off one hair. This experiment reveals that she is human. Just as suddenly, she notices a squeak and sees a new monster. Kim asks why he is looking at them, but Suin doesn't say anything. In the evening, the monsters drive up to Suin's house. They want Suin to talk to Pasteur. Suin has to get in the car. They want talented members of their race. Pasteur is very interested in how she manages to fake human emotions. Their car was followed by Kang. The hangar is completely packed with other aliens. Pasteur turns on the video. It shows a parasite who was on a special search party for other parasites. He's sure that Enku will find them sooner or later and destroy them all. The monster's main goal is to take over the entire planet. But because of the incident at the festival, people learned about their existence too soon and advanced in research. The guided does not consider humans weak. They are, on the contrary, superior to the parasites. But if all the parasites unite, they have a chance of survival. Kang decides to see what's in the other building. He finds himself in a farm guarded by a monster. Kang accidentally steps in front of a parasite and realizes that they can't see when they transform their head. As he walks through the vault, he finds his relative. Anger overwhelms him, and Kang attacks the monster. The preacher orders that the intruder be caught. Everyone goes to fulfill his order, but Suin behaves differently. The preacher sees this. Kang miraculously escapes into the forest. When the bandits find him, he tells them to turn around and run away. Suddenly, monsters come out of the forest. The bandits order them to leave and pull out their weapons. The monster kills the bandit with just one move. The other bandits run to attack, but their fate is repeated. Kang runs away and accidentally crashes into Suin. He knows that she is not a full-fledged mutant, so he offers to team up with her. After dealing with the bandits, Parasyte notices that one has managed to escape, but he finds him. The monster jumps into the sky and uses his head as a hang glider. Kang runs to his friend Kumin. He takes the keys and starts the car. Already in the car, Kang wonders how the bandits could know where to find him. Kumin grabs a knife and tries to kill Kang, but their fight is interrupted by a monster. He tears off the roof and sees Suin among the people. Height takes the body, and a fight breaks out between them. The monster stabs Kumin, and then the car stops at the edge of a cliff. Before he dies, Kumin says that their boss Jong sold out Kang. Monster realizes that Heidi is not one of them, but a hybrid with a human. Monster takes off to tell Pasteur about the threat, but Heit took advantage of the moment and destroyed the parasite. Suin gets her body back, and she runs to Kang's aid, but she can't reach him, forcing Heit to use her powers once more. Enku reads Suin's file and realizes that she is a parasite. At the very beginning, Enku forgot the receipt, which is why she ran back to the store. At that moment, a capsule fell onto the roof and took her husband's body. Panic sets in, and Enku finds her husband and he attacks her. She manages to dodge and notices the household chemicals. Enku grabs the bottle and pours the contents on the monster, making it unable to transform its head anymore. Tomorrow, Kang offers to report to the police that there are many dead people in the church, and Suin agrees. To do this, they make an anonymous call and tell Kim where he can find the monsters. Kim goes to Enka's house to tell her about the call, but before she does, she asks about Suin. Kim immediately says that he checked her hair and she turns out to be human. They talk about the tip on the monster. Enka asks to assemble a cleanup team. Already in the evening, a special squad has started checking the area, but all the monsters are already gone. However, Kim finds the keychain he gave to Suin, but he didn't tell Enka about it. The church is run by Kwang. A few weeks ago, his relatives reported him missing. Genke wants to check out his place. Turns out Chul is the traitor who warned the pastor that they were being hunted. The preacher wants Chul to use that knife to kill the bloodhound. Suin sets up a meeting with Kim. He takes a revolver just in case. A little later, Kim asks to see the keychain. Suin says she lost it, and then Kim takes out the keychain. Yenke decides to follow him. The bloodhound says there's a parasite nearby. Genke is about to shoot, but Kang pushes her, and the duo runs away. They hide in the House of Fear. Heit takes the body to deal with Genki, but she doesn't do any fatal damage. At this time, Chul follows orders, but is seen by Kang. And Heit is surrounded by the police, but she has no more strength and passes out. Enke puts a restraining helmet on Suin. Suin is accused of helping the preacher. Genke calls her a parasite, but Kim calls it a lie. All the tests have been done, but no one is told the results. The worker says she shows no signs of infection, but Genke still stands her ground. What if their methods of detecting parasites are not enough? Now Suin is lying in a coma, and her vital signs are very low. The special unit wants to tell the residents about the existence of the parasites. That should reduce the number of casualties, and Suin needs to be transported to the main headquarters. At this time, Suin is inside her consciousness. Heit has purposely cut off her consciousness from the outside world. This is their first chance to talk one-on-one. When they were kids, Kim saved Suin from her evil father, but for some reason, other people looked at her as a monster. They couldn't believe that a child would turn on her father. She begged Kim to find her mother so Suin could talk to her. Turns out she had a happy life with another family and looked at Suin as a leper. When Kang wanted to leave town, Kim came to him and handcuffed him. Kang tells him that the bloodhound was killed by one of the cops. Kim asks to see what he looks like. Kay quickly points to Chul. Kim believes him and wants Kang to tell him about everything that was going on with Suin. At this time, Chul gives the guide the path that he will be taking to transport Suin. Kang explains that Suin is infected, but she is still human. Kim is grateful for the help and asks for help in freeing Suin before transferring her to headquarters. At first, Kang wants to run away, but he teams up with Kim. He immediately explains how the police station is organized and identifies all the weak areas. Kang used to be a Marine, which is why he was able to knock out the cop. It turns out that Enku decided to move Suin before the appointed time and took away the helmet opening device. But Enku ordered Kang to keep an eye on Suin. Chul rides along with Kim and notices that Kim is tense. An hour later, the convoy arrives at the bridge. There's a big traffic jam. The SWAT team is sent to check what's going on. It turns out the monster had an accident and attacked the military. An alarm is announced, all the military get out of their cars and begins to kill parasites. However, the enemies were too many and they reduce the number of the military. Some of the vermin use the door from the cars as shields. After a couple minutes, the mutant backup arrives. Another parasite rams Suin's car. The driver tries to get away, but he is immediately killed. Kang opens the door, and a fight breaks out between him and Enko, but they are interrupted by the parasites. Yenke has to run away, and Kang tries to take off his helmet. Suddenly, a monster rips off the wall and is killed by Kim. As soon as Kang opens the helmet, Suin is back in her body. They get in the car and drive away. Chul asks Kim to get in the car and follow them, but at a certain point, they take a different road. Suin senses the presence of the monster and asks Kang to turn around. Chul offers Kim to join the church, but he refuses, and the preacher shows up. Kim fires a couple shots. The preacher falls, and the parasite does a roof knockdown. Afterward, he takes Kim's body. Height comes running in, and a fight breaks out between them. Preacher proves to be too strong, and they have to escape. Preacher doesn't see Height as a threat, as she is driven by self-preservation, and that's a weakness for parasites. Because of the incident on the bridge, the soldiers want to start a mass sweep, but they didn't know that the preacher is sitting among them. Cheol asks Preacher to express more emotion, or they'll get suspicious. The duo hides at a friend's house. Suin wants to talk to Enki before it's too late. Because of the incident on the bridge, people have learned about the existence of monsters, but the authorities say they know how to fight them. The preacher decides to give Enki a tip on one of the hideouts, in order for the police to believe there are several monsters living there.
Then we launch our attack. At sunrise, full cleanup operation.
That night, Suin gets a call from Enka. She warns that Kim and partner are parasites. Enka says everyone has been tested and they can't be parasites. Suin asks for a new test. She also sets up a meeting on the roof of the house. Suin reveals that she is a hybrid and that Kim was killed and had his body taken over. Enke will only trust her after they clear out the monster's hideout. Suin doesn't want to put on the helmet, so she runs away. Meanwhile, a parasite infiltrates the house where the duo was hiding. Height has used up too much energy and will not be able to help for 3 hours. The parasite takes Kang's friend hostage. Suin decides to fulfill the conditions and comes to the monster.
We do not need a mutant on our side.
Kang throws a fire extinguisher and the friend covers the duo and holds the monster back. That was enough time to escape. At work, Enku checks Chul's Wolo, and they turn out to be human. In the evening, a cleanup operation begins. Yenka gets a call from Suin to record a phone call in case she is killed. The house is stormed by the military. They take out a lot of vermin. Even the preacher helps the police. The mission ends in success. Kang realizes that the monster's target is the president of the country. At the very beginning, Cheol comes to the preacher's house.
Pastor Kwan?
He wants to study humans as a species, but Cheol doesn't need to fear him. He gets a unique offer. The preacher wants to become the head of the humans. During the press conference, the preacher convinces the people that almost all the monsters have been killed, but some manage to escape, namely Suin and Seolchun. Seolchun meets with Suin. She wants to punish the one who betrayed their species.
Well, you must want him punished too.
It is an unreasonable request that unnecessarily risks our existence.
Kang tries to kill Seolchun, but she stops him from killing her. On the day of the holiday, the investigators test Kang's theory and confirm his words. But Enku asked them not to tell anyone about it. The preacher gave a new tip on the vermin's hideout, so the chief ordered the soldiers to go there, while Chul and Preacher take care of the president's security. Height calls Enki and warns him that Preacher wants to take over the president's body. Enki immediately orders a U-turn. The preacher attacks the residents. Chul grabs the mayor and asks him to run to a safe place. Enke attacks Suin. She once again disarms Jenke and asks her not to be afraid of her. Height is not an enemy of humans. With no humans around, Cheol lets the preacher out, but Seolcheon comes to the rescue. She tries to kill the preacher, but he's too fast and launches a series of attacks, killing Solochun. The parasite can't live too long in a non-human body, because of which it kills Chul and takes his body. To find the president, it goes up to the ceiling. Kang uses fireworks as a weapon and asks the president to flee, as suddenly Height appears, and a fight breaks out between them. Preacher divides himself into several parts to sneak up on Height unnoticed. Their fight is interrupted by Enke, Height sees the parasite crawling behind her and saves the girl. Meanwhile, Genke wounds the preacher several times and he dies. In gratitude for the rescue, she says that they are ordinary people. A few days later, Suin returns to work and Kang joins the special unit. The series ends with a scene of Shinichi Izumi coming to Enka and holds out his hand. Let us know in the comments what you think of the series. We'd also love your likes. We'll be back soon. Bye.